Alright guys, now that I've set up a little thing for you to see what exactly you're going to need, you will need your mold release and conditioner. You need 5 plastic cups, 4 plastic spoons. Then, since I'm using the Easy Cast, and it comes with the hardener and the resin, you need whatever you're going to dye it with. You can use acrylic paints, you can use pens, but if you use pens, make sure it's kind of like a big pen, because if you get any water in your resin, it'll become very cloudy and not as translucent. If you want an opaque casting, kind of like the one I purchased, you can use like acrylic paints and whatnot. There are a whole bunch of different ways you can dye it. Since I've just recently begun working with resin, I haven't really gotten to play around with it too much. I've only used pens. You will also need your mold, and you'll need a Sharpie marker to mark up your cups. We'll just show you how to do in a little bit. Why do you need 5 cups? You're going to need a cup to put your hardener in, 1 cup for your resin in, 1 cup to pour both of them into, and stir it. When you open this pen, you have to let the ink drip. So I usually let it drip into the cup I'm gonna pour these 2 into. And what you have to do with the Easy Cast, once you mix it in 1 cup, you have to pour it into another cup and get a fresh spoon. And the 5th cup, which I'm going to use for, is water. What you're gonna have to do is fill up your mold with water, and then you're going to pour that water into a cup and mark how high it comes up. And I'll show you that in a little bit. Let me just clean up first. I'll see you in a few seconds. Okay, I really should be doing this over a sink, but I don't know if you can really tell, but I have the water in the mold. And what you want to do, which I definitely should be doing over the sink, is pour it into the cup. Oh, what do you know? There it goes. Okay. Now that you have it in there, just wipe out your mold. Make sure it's completely dry. As I said earlier, you don't want any water in the resin or else it will become very cloudy. Okay, now that we have the water in the cup, take your Sharpie marker, and you can't really see it in here, but the water comes up to right there, and that's going to tell you how much of the hardener and resin you need all together. You're going to take 2 more cups, and what you're going to do with these cups is kind of you're going to have to eyeball it, but make a half mark on the 2nd cup. So half is going to be hardener, half is going to be resin, and together they should come up to this line. Alright, before we start using any resin yet, what we have to do is, well, since I'm using a pen, you want to open this and get this ink dripping. So, just take out pliers and just, let me see if I can do this over the camera. Can you see it? There we go. There we are. Okay. Just wanna, whoop, you see it? There it goes. Okay, just put that in your cup. Alright. See it starting to drip down there? See it? Okay. Now, depending on how deep you're going to be making your casting, mine it's a relatively deep, so you don't want to have too much of the ink in it, but then again you don't want to have too little. But it also depends on the color you want it, how dark or how light you want it to be. I am not going to be using all of this ink, but I will be using a significant portion of it. So we'll just have this drip for now, let gravity do its thing, and we'll put that to the side. Now with the 2 cups from before, I marked the half marks of each. And what we're going to be doing with our hardener and our resin, you see the inside how it's like kind of thick? What we're going to do is just get a bowl of hot water, make sure the water is hot, and you're just going to have these sit in the bowl for about 5 to 10 minutes until the consistency, it kind of looks like water. I'll show you once I do that. So I'll get a hot bowl of water, let these sit, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so I have my bowl of hot water, and the resin I'm using, I actually have some leftover resin. I only have a little bit in here, so I'm going to add that in there, as well as the new ones, just in case I need more, but I don't think I will. So we'll just have everybody chill and float and loosen up, and again, let them sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. So while you're letting the bottles do their thing, this would be a perfect time for you to spray your mold with the mold releasing conditioner. You want it to dry, so spray it now, let it dry. If anything seems to pool a bit at the bottom, just wipe a little bit of it with a napkin or a towel, but you want to make sure it's not soaking wet when you do your resin casting. So we're going to spray this now while those guys are loosening up. Alright, so these have been in here for about 5 minutes now. You see how all the liquid, I don't know how well you can see this, but you see how it's not as thick? This is how we want it. So these are ready to come out. I don't think I'll be needing the new bottles at all, so let's get to casting.